I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible and free of coughs, if at all possible. And just say that I have Lane is her gamer tag. I have her permission to share this with you. When I saw this image, this is a JPEG straight out of her journal. And when I saw this, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. But, and I took the JPEG, opened it up in Photoshop, spent about 10 minutes, and then called her over and said, hey, look at this. And I explained my rationale for the moves. I'm going to give you guys the short version. What if the background color wasn't this greenish tint, but rather chose either a color from her eyes or maybe her lips to pull color and tie the whole picture together. But the eyes are too close to the color of the shirt, and I didn't think that would really make it pop, so I went and sampled a color of the lips. And then I saw all this detail here and went, you know, this is really cool. But what if we softened it up a bit and made this warmer and more inviting? I wanted to change other things, but I didn't want to change the nature of her image. I just wanted to do non-destructive editing in Photoshop. My suggestions are, hey, the whites of the eyes are a little dark. So why not brighten those up in Illustrator before you bring this over here? And that would help immensely. And finish up this eye over here that kind of ends abruptly right there. But then the rest of this, I mean, just wonderful. I love the freeform strokes in the hair. Anyway, let's get back over to Photoshop. We're in Photoshop. Hit Command 0. And let me just walk you through really quick. Changing the background color, once again, sampling those lips, and you see it's non-destructive. I just made a selection and jumped it. Brighten things up and soften things up. And let me just show you really quickly in Camera Raw. Yes, I pulled sliders to change the brightness and contrast, but the softening is right here. When you pull clarity and texture into the minuses, what you're doing is softening edges, the transitions. If I hit the letter P for preview, the transitions between all these edges get very much softened. Colors still say isolated. You know, you still see them, but see how things are muted and move together. Again, this was done really quickly, and it's not, it's certainly not perfect. It's just, I'm just moving through, adding a little more contrast here. The eyes got too dark, so I used one of these dodge and burn layers. You can see the eyes get a little brighter. And then a curves layer, and this is just an S curve. If I click on the icon here for the adjustment layer, it's just a classic S curve. Brighten up a little bit, darken a little bit, adds a little bit of contrast, and almost always improves an image. And then, again, just a little enhancement and a little more blur, but this time, if I hold down Shift, watch the eyes. Watch this eye. You can see it happen on both of them. When I shift click to turn that mask back on, I'm just painting with black on there with gray, black low opacity, to bring back some of that detail, and then warming this up. And the warmth comes, you might have noticed a little yellow popping in. The only thing I did is just change the temperature. Blue cools, yellow warms. You don't go crazy because, you know, of course, that's hideous and artificial. And is this perfect? No. It's just one little quick trip through Photoshop in order to say, what if? What if? And what I say to you is, what if you took some of your work into Photoshop? And just like the generative art with the isometric objects, this is generative in nature as well, because we're constantly changing, and this blur and blend does have a darken layer at 70% opacity. So the blend modes did come into play at one point, just to give you ideas, hopefully. So you guys, think about what you want to achieve with the rest of this week and be good, all right? I'll see you after Thanksgiving. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. via video.